What is going on, you guys? My name is Rage and we are back today with another continuation video for my next progress in Dark Dimension 3. Now it's going to be my video and guide playthrough for the next node, being node 7. With that being said, let's dive into the characters. Notice though, at the time of recording, my characters will be weaker than what you see now, but just know that overall, it's really the abilities and synergy of the characters that matter more than the overall strength and combat power. So, I mean, a 4 red versus a 5 red, it's very circumstantial in these nodes when you play through, so just keep that in mind. But this is more so to give you guys a reference in terms of what worked for me and the overall strategy. Diving right in, Mr. Sinister here, bringing him on board because of his adaptability to the Dark Dimension 3 nodes. He's been extremely versatile in being able to clone, and you bet that's why we're bringing him in, just because he does have that synergy with the mutants, especially with that being Emma Frost here. Emma Frost being able to cleanse conditions on our team, and in addition having additional damage by blinding and taking and stripping away enemy buffs. Absolutely crucial and very beneficial for our team synergy in terms of support. Next, we have Ghost here. Mainly, Ghost is utilized for her damage because of her ultimate here that does scale with the health. In addition, maximizing her effectiveness by placing an ISO 8 striker as well as with her basic here allows her the ability to reduce the speed and really controlling an enemy and controlling the overall situation, especially if it's a character you don't want them getting a turn sooner rather than later. Next, we do have Shuri. We're bringing her on board for the extra protection. I wasn't planning to bring her on board in my Dark Dimension 3 preparation, but I did notice with these nodes that additional protection and healing was needed. So you're going to see in the initial attempts here that I don't have Shuri at the beginning, but then I do level her up and bring her on board for the later attempts, as you'll see in the video playthrough. And last but not least, it is going to be Black Widow here, providing speed up for our team in addition to a timely stun that we can utilize to prevent the enemies from attacking. And Black Widow is really nice because her special applies that speed up, but in addition, it also gives her that invisibility to kind of protect herself. So I mean, she's there, but really not there, which is nice. And additionally, her stun is really useful for team synergy. That's my 5 that I'm bringing on board for this node. So let's dive right now into the gameplay. So starting off here, to just save a little bit of time, I will fast forward this, but you're going to see in this first attempt, we're just going to throw all the characters in there because essentially we want them just to be able to take the hits and ultimates from this first wave. So that's why I do recommend, especially if we're going to attempt this over several few days, I do recommend you guys just throwing in characters in there to take the brunt of the ultimates, and that will set us up for the first real attempt following this. So you'll see here that I do actually just go ahead and try to target as many guys as I can with our damage, and then we do get wiped out, but that's quite alright because like I said, we want them to use their abilities on us. Now this will be the start of the real attempt here, and you can see here that starting off we do have Shuri now, and I'm going to put her on the side there, included for that additional protection. But if you guys haven't already, I did put a link in the description below as well, but I have been following Dutch Rudder's guide here in terms of how to progress, because it's extremely important to know how many characters we can kill before the next wave arrive, as well as key targets that we should be targeting at the beginning. So from the get-go here, you're going to see in this wave, we are going to be up against a Phoenix and 2 Jessica Jones, and those 3 will be the top priority for us to take down, just because the next wave actually spawns after 3 characters are taken down at 35 out of 38 enemies left. So with that being said, we do want to utilize Ghost to her ultimate potential here, reducing the speed from Jessica Jones, because Jessica Jones can give each other energy in addition to actually cleansing the negatives. In addition to that, the Phoenix is another character we have to take care of. So those will be the 3 that we have to aim for in this initial first wave. So with that being said though, if you guys do have Mr. Sinister fortunately on your team, hopefully please go ahead and clone the Phoenix, because Phoenix is definitely the best cluster out of this first wave. And with Phoenix, she gives us defense up. She's also going to have her special when Dark Phoenix arises to be able to take away a massive amount of their health pool, just because it scales with their health percentage. And make sure you guys are saving Emma Frost's ultimate as well as Phoenix's basic attacks, because they can actually take away the positive buffs. So, you know, instances where Colossus is actually taunting, very useful for us to have Emma Frost and a Phoenix on our side to take away that. In addition to Mr. Sinister being able to provide a lot of value to our Phoenix as well, just because his special applies to all mutants, including Phoenix and Emma Frost. So you'll see right there, I do take away all their buffs thanks to Emma Frost there. And again, we want to focus both the Jessica Jones and the Phoenix. Personally, in my attempt here, I am actually going to take out one of the Jessica Jones before the next Phoenix, just because the fact that the Jessica Jones can give each other energy and as well as cleanse the negatives, that's a big red flag for me. So personally, I like to go that route, but it's completely up to you guys and how you want to attempt this. But you'll see there with Dark Phoenix, thanks to her special, you can see how much damage she actually does there, and it takes away quite a bit of damage from them, and it's absolutely huge. Shuri, once again, providing defense up. That's exactly why we're bringing her on board, in addition to Mr. Sinister providing that healing and support for our fellow mutants. And as you guys can see over time here, we do go ahead and actually take down one of the Jessica Jones now, and both the Jessica Jones as well as the Phoenix is quite weak. So once again, it's thanks to the fact that we actually attempted the first try, shouldering all their ultimates and abilities, giving us a really fighting chance, because in the beginning, when they unleash all their ultimates on us, that's really where it gets quite dangerous. But you know, because of how this actually progressed, I am actually going to go ahead and just finish off this Jessica Jones, because these guys are quite weak, as well as that Phoenix being weak as well. And the best thing about finishing off Phoenix in this wave is you don't even need to worry about finishing off Dark Phoenix, because the moment Dark Phoenix arises in the wave, you know that she's dead, and then she definitely won't be coming back in your next attempt. So really, if you guys want to nail down a specific goal for this first wave, just make sure Phoenix is dead, because you just don't want to keep fighting her. And once she's actually Dark Phoenix mode activated, she won't be coming back in the next wave attempt that you go for. You can see that I already lost my Shuri, but that's quite alright, because I wasn't planning to one-shot. I was more so just focused on taking a really good first attempt at here, especially in taking down this wave. So you'll see that the second Jessica Jones goes down. I also cloned another Phoenix, which is exactly what I wanted, because if we can get another Dark Phoenix to activate her ultimate ability and special, that would be really, really essential for us. So at this point, we're just trying to do as much damage as we can now. Now that Dark Phoenix on their end is activated, we know that we've officially killed Phoenix. So at this point, I'm just trying to do as much damage as I can. In the next wave, you're going to see that we will see Black Panther as well as the first Iron Fist. And the reason why this node is so infamous for being difficult is because there gets to a stage where the Iron Fists are fueled by Jessica Jones with infinite energy, and essentially what happens is the Iron Fist working hand in hand with Black Panthers just make it impossible to finish this node. So that's why I'm so focused on making sure my first attempt in this node matters, because we just don't want that situation where there's two Iron Fists together with Jessica Jones. And that's why we focused on taking down the Jessica Jones first. So I can't stress that enough. That's why I'm taking this time to talk to you guys about this in this attempt here, because the Jessica Jones need to go down the first wave, ideally with the Phoenix, and that will really set the tone for the remainder of the attempt. So at this point, Black Panther and Iron Fist spawn here. I already know it's game over because my team's already dead. So at this point, I'm just trying to save my energy here, attack them as much as I can, take on as much damage as I can. But you know, obviously this wasn't a one-shot attempt, so I wasn't trying for that, but more so trying to take away as much attacks from them as I can, and then have a really good next attempt on this node. So there you go. That is attempt number 2 there. So now we'll dive right now into the third attempt. So same team as before, exact same placement. And keep in mind, like I said, you guys, I am going to be referencing Dutch Rudder's guide in terms of attack order. We're going to start off with this cluster of Black Panther and Iron Fist here, and those two will be the two that we want to target because of their offensive prowess, and we just don't want them being carried forward into the next waves that we continue our attack. So starting off, previously where we left off, you can see they both spawn now, and ideally we want to take out Black Panther and Iron Fist, ideally. And keep in mind as well, the next wave spawns at 32 out of 38 characters, so that means we can actually kill 3 characters out of this cluster. You do want to be careful with Ghost's ultimate, just because Ghost can attack all the targets. That's also why I bide my time and wait for the right moment to use that, because you don't want to be going faster through the waves. Just because you can kill the enemies doesn't mean you should. It's all about being strategic and taking down the right enemies in the right order. And that's really what's going to build the success for Dark Dimension 3, especially for you guys attempting for your first time. Now, something that fundamentally helped me through this node was actually cloning Colossus, because a couple of reasons. Colossus has his own death proof that he can grant himself, in addition to giving the entire team deflex and buffs. So it's really huge. You're gonna see in this wave that I'm actually gonna go ahead and clone several Colossuses, and they actually give us a lot of benefits in terms of defense, and really does set the stage once again for that protection. Thanks once again to Mr. Sinister's adaptability and his ability to actually pivot to the situation. In addition to that, you do want to control Black Panther as much as possible. That's why I do use Black Widow to actually stun him when I can, as well as using Ghost to reduce his speed meter. He's the one that can actually take us out. Additionally, Iron Fist is powerful and does have the healing, but he's not as powerful until he gets the later Iron Fist that combinates with his synergy and his passive healing. So the really key target to watch for is definitely Black Panther. And unfortunately, it wasn't part of my plan, but what actually happened was I used Ghost's ultimate here. Does take out Okoye, so that does leave us with the 34 out of 38 characters, meaning we are able to take down 2 more still before the next wave spawns, and you bet it's gonna be Black Panther as well as Iron Fist, just because we want those 2 high priority targets out of the way. Now we do go ahead and finish off Black Panther here after some time, and you do see now I actually have cloned a couple of Colossus now for that extra protection. Once again, with them combinating each other, thanks to Shuri as well, it just gives us a lot of protection and adds that viability for us to get a really meaningful attempt on this node. Next off, you bet we're going to go ahead now and finish off Iron Fist. And by doing that, it's going to spawn the next wave, being a wave of Shuri, Storm, as well as Psylocke. And keep in mind, once again, we can take down another 3 before the next wave. So same story here. With this one, I'm going to focus on just taking down some of the higher damage targets, including Killmonger, as well as Storm, and as well as Colossus, just because getting him out of the way, especially with him being weaker and tankier, as well as him having a taunt, that's who I recommend out of the 3 before the next wave. In addition, you guys will see that I'm going to clone as well another Shuri here, just because of the fact that we want additional protection along with our Colossus, where we've already lost one of them, but Shuri's going to provide additional protection and synergy with our team. So we're going to go ahead, finish off Storm here, and she's going to be our 30th character down. In addition, we will go ahead and actually finish off Daredevil here, just because it's actually 28 characters, not 29. So the actual guide was wrong incorrectly, but that's quite all right. You'll see that does now spawn a Killmonger, Iron Fist, as well as a Luke Cage. And once again, the main target we're going to want to take down for this wave is going to be Iron Fist, because we just don't want him coming forward into the other waves. In addition to that, we also will be able to take down 3 characters out of this wave, and when before it spawns to the next wave. So we'll go ahead now, fast forwarding here, just gonna save you guys some time, finishing off the Iron Fist. You'll also notice now that I have actually cloned a few Shuris, and once again, just having that infinite protection, similar to my last node where I cloned multiple Invisible Women's. Shuris activate and operate very similarly because of her defense up, energy, as well as healing. So keep in mind as well, we're at 27 enemies left now, which means we can still take down another 2 more, but you'll see that I finished off the Psylocke there, and now we can take down officially 1 more before the next wave spawns. So at this point, I do recommend taking down their Shuri, because finally we got enough Shuris on our end. We have the full 10 character slots, 25 out of 28 characters left. That does spawn the next wave here, being Shuri, Mystique, Phoenix, as well as a Jessica Jones. So a very big, crucial cluster here once again. But once again, we do want to take down, similar to our first wave, it's going to be the Jessica Jones, and it's going to be the Phoenix, just due to the fact that Jessica Jones can cleanse, and Phoenix doing immense damage if we're not careful. You'll see that we also clone Phoenix here too, and once again, taking full advantage of her abilities. We finally got to the point now where we can finish off Jessica Jones here and ridding her of her cleanse and her abilities. And you bet the next one is going to be finishing off here Dark Phoenix. Now 23 out of 38 characters left. That leaves us with 2 more characters we can take down, with the next wave spawning at 21. In this situation, it's really up to you guys, whether or not you would like to take out the higher damage targets such as Killmonger and Psylocke, or if you don't like tanks such as Luke Cage, or even protection like Shuri. So personally, I don't like the high damage targets, so I will always opt to take down those guys that do more damage. So Killmonger will go down here. And then we actually accidentally take down Daredevil just because of the fact that we have the counter from our Colossus. So he does go down, and that is going to spawn the next wave here that you'll see consisting of 2 Killmongers. It's going to be a Storm, it's going to be M'Baku, and as well as another Colossus here. So we do actually go ahead then and take down Shuri here. And as well, there's a M'Baku in the back there that we do take down as well. And keep in mind, the next wave does spawn at 17 enemies left there. And that's going to include another Black Panther, Shuri, and Jessica Jones. Now, passing forward here, a lot of these targets are now weaker, and we're preparing for the next wave to drop. So I do plan to go ahead and actually take down the Killmonger, which we do there. In addition, Psylocke's pretty weak now too, and as well as that Storm. It really depends on what you guys want to see in the next wave, right? Overall, it all depends on who you want to be up against, especially in the waves following this one. And unfortunately, we still have a couple of Phoenixes on our side doing a lot of immense damage, but you'll see at 17 enemies here, it does spawn that big cluster once again, and the main target being Black Panther. He's our priority target that we do have to aim for. Thankfully, we still have a lot of Shuris from the clones, thanks to Mr. Sinister. Black Panther is going to be the priority target. We do take him down with 15 out of 38 enemies left. That means we can still take down 1 enemy before the next wave spawns at 14 out of 38 characters left. And at this point, it's really up to you guys. You know, we've seen from the previous waves that Jessica Jones is the problem with her energy and cleansing. So we do go ahead and aim for her once again. And just seeing all these clusters and characters here finishing off Jessica Jones, you can see why this Node 7 is notorious for really crushing the hope of a lot of players, just because the waves just don't seem to stop. With the 14 out of 38 enemies left, you do see another wave of Phoenix spawns with 2 Daredevils. And, you know, this is still a really massive cluster of characters that we have to aim for. But fortunately, thanks to Mr. Sinister on our team, we have a couple of Shuris, we have the Phoenix clones, in addition to Colossus. So really, our synergy is really good right now, and I'm taking full use of that. But just keep in mind, you guys, definitely does take quite a few tries. I got really lucky with the RNG here. I'm glad I was able to capture it for you all. But again, it's going to take a lot of attempts. I think I just got super lucky with the luck here and the fact that I cloned the right characters at the right time with my team. With that said, thanks to our Phoenix abilities, you bet we're going to use that ability to be able to scale with health damage there, apply some immense damage, and as well see how weak these guys are. We want to keep them like that because we can really finish off a lot of them, and the next wave does spawn at 11 out of 38 characters left, so we can officially take down 2 more before the next wave. At this point, I've taken down the targets I needed to take down, so I am going to go ahead and just utilize Phoenix, her abilities, and just, you know, at some point, you're going to get to an instance where you just take down targets accidentally, and that's quite alright. 11 out of 38 characters, leaving us with 2 Colossuses that spawn, in addition to another Black Panther. And unfortunately, this is actually where things go south for us, just due to the fact that this cluster is quite heavy in terms of their overall damage, and with that Black Panther actually looming and waiting for his ultimate to strike upon us. But fortunately, you see that once again, we use Phoenix there to activate her special, does immense damage. And again, the key in this cluster is we can take down their Phoenix as well. It's going to add a lot of value for us going forward because, again, if we take down and summon Dark Phoenix on their end, it means their Phoenix is officially dead and that she won't be spawning in the next wave. And once again, I love Emma Frost here because of her ultimate. You can see that she can actually get one-shotted thanks to her ultimate to actually get that mind control there. 7 out of 38 characters left, and I'm feeling good about this when I was recording it. But you guys are going to see here that things can change quite fast here if you drop your guard. So you can see our team. We had a couple characters already drop from our clones, but we still have our original 5 here. But due to the fact that how hard these guys can hit, you know, you just never know when they can get taken down. So you see Shuri actually dies right there in an instance. Feel free to replay if you guys want to watch that again. But just a split second and she's taken down. And to be honest with you, I'm not really sure what happened. I replayed it a few times. I tried to stun Jessica Jones there. It unfortunately didn't work. But, you know, you can already see that Black Panther is going to have his attack soon in addition to Storm. So, I mean, these guys just do a lot of damage. And I don't know what it is with this last wave, but even with her defense up, you can just see that Storm almost one-shots my Mr. Sinister. He's taken down. So at this point, when I see my 4 guys left, I'm thinking, well, at this point, it's probably a better idea just to conserve our energy because this is definitely looking like it's not going to be a finish here. I would have loved to finish strong for you guys, but you can see here that at this point, it's about conserving energy. When you know you've lost, just conserve your energy. Try not to use any abilities if you can. You know, I tried to take down with Black Panther at least there if I could, but it looks like he's gonna get his turn there, and unfortunately, just not the finish we wanted for this attempt, but a very strong attempt. And I was trying to illustrate here that you can get a meaningful attack if you have the right team and synergy, but really the key was at the very beginning, building up that army with Mr. Sinister, especially with a couple of Colossuses, especially with the Shuris, and then also getting a chance to clone a few Phoenixes in this node was especially useful. So a very great attempt here following those initial ones, but you'll see that definitely we're gonna get wiped out here, and that's quite all right. So there you guys see there, that is unfortunately the ending to this attempt, but now we will dive in now to the final attempt here, wrapping up the completion of this node. And with this last wave here, just know that we do have to take down that Black Panther as soon as possible. There's those Colossuses that we mentioned before, in addition to the Storm, Jessica Jones. So those are all the characters we have to be mindful of here. They do a lot of damage, but fortunately there is only 6 of them, and we have 5 characters now. It's always hard to build momentum as well because we don't have the Mr. Sinister clones anymore, but fortunately these guys were weakened. Consistent with my earlier waves as well, you bet I'm going to clone Colossus just to give us that extra protection, and we are going to go ahead now and just finish off Black Panther once again. Emma Frost's ultimate coming in clutch with that mind control, dealing immense damage, especially when we can utilize one of the enemies in our advantage. Next, just due to the timing in the last wave here, with the Colossus being weaker, you bet we're going to once again now just fast forwarding, utilizing Emma Frost once again, her ultimate, just building up the energy. And now you'll see I'll have 2 Colossuses to provide that protection. I can't stress that enough. If you guys can clone Colossus with Mr. Sinister, it just adds immense value for the protection, especially in the RNG and trying to attempt these waves. Especially with these characters having a lot of damage, and we need that extra protection, or as much as we can get. And at this point, it's really just taking down whoever's weakest. For me, I saw that the Storms were getting weaker and weaker, and you can see how much damage Storm's ultimate does there. Fortunately, none of our guys fall, and that leaves now 3 characters left. And keep in mind, with these last 3 here, this is where I would slowly start thinking about building up energy for the next wave. So keep that in mind here, just because of the fact that obviously with Node 8, we're still using global characters, so we still want to obviously save up our energy if we can and bide our time. Ghost controlling the speed meter as always, but with Jessica Jones and Colossus being the last 2 here, not a big deal. We're not going to waste Emma Frost's ultimate. We're just going to save and bide our time here. And then we go ahead, finish off Jessica Jones, leaving Colossus. So learning points again for this node, you guys. I know a lot of players had that issue with the double Iron Fist, where essentially they just have so many attempts over and over. But as you've seen from this video playthrough, if you guys take out the Iron Fist and the Jessica Jones early, in addition to targeting those Phoenix and really ultimately using Mr. Sinister to the best of your advantage, really using his clones meaningfully, especially on Colossus, Phoenix, and Shuris, it's been able to really be able to provide a lot of success for my attempt here. Took me a total here of the 4 attacks, but I know other characters, or sorry, players have taken more attempts out there. So just go back here and show you guys here as proof. You can see here 4 total attacks. The first attack was to shoulder that damage. Second attack was focusing on taking down Phoenix. And in the achievements here, you can also see that I started Dark Dimension 3 when I was at 380 days login. So you see that it's only been 10 days elapsed that we've achieved Node 7 now. So with that being said, you bet I'm going to keep this up. But thank you as always for supporting the channel. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.